Morning. Let me make sure this is still recording. Good. Let me put all this fucking bullshit that's making me mad into my pocket. Okay. I'm descending a mountain right now. It is 10:07 on Thursday, April 11th. This is the second day in the Smokies for Allie and I. I'm running my microphone through my buff and talking into my buff, so I hope that I'm able to block the wind. Very, very windy today. But otherwise clear and relatively warm. So it's never advisable to record in the wind, and it's definitely never advisable to record when you are doing some sort of strenuous exercise. So check and check. I wanted to say some words right now, just to make sure I got it all for the record. So let me clear my ears a little bit. So yeah, second day in the Smokies. Did 17 or 18 miles yesterday from Fontana Dam to the third shelter in the Smokies. Trying to remember when I recorded last, so I can pick it up from there. I know it was like a 10-minute clip. I don't really recall. But in any case, after what felt like a pretty long day, I think Allie was tired for the first part of it. We rolled into the shelter. It's called like the Spence Field shelter, I believe. And met with a few people. Grubber, shouts out to Grubber, great guy. There was like a group of girls from some like leadership thing there. I'm not really sure what the deal was with that. They were all giggly and young and impractically hiking, washing their clothes and stuff like that. I mean, I guess, I don't know, maybe it's not impractical. But to spend a large part of your day, I guess if you hike low mileage, you could certainly spend a reasonable portion of your day doing those kind of chores. But for Allie and I, Allie and me, that kind of stuff, we just don't have enough time in the day. We're doing a pretty big day today. Like 19 point something miles past Klingman's Dome, which will put Allie further than she's ever been on the Appalachian Trail. So we had that moment together where I crossed Winding Stair Gap, which was the furthest from home I've ever been. And then today will be her furthest being moment. So that's special, and it also means, I realized earlier today, that we've hiked 100 miles together since meeting back on Friday. So that'll be a week tomorrow, which is pretty crazy. So it'll be 2 weeks on the trail in 2 days. And I think we're thinking the Smokies are only like 70 miles long. So we'll probably get out of them on the fourth day, having entered them yesterday. So quick math, let's see. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday's supposed to have rain and possibility of snow, but I'm not exactly sure. However, we're planning the first 0 day at Standing Bear. Allie has some shoes waiting for her there. And yeah, we have not taken any 0 days since we started, and we are doing well over 100 miles a week. So, fuck Christing bitch, this stupid fucking rock. God, it seemed like every step I took forward, I kicked it so that it was still in front of me, and I tripped over it a little bit. That is some bullshit. I had a lot of coffee this morning, so I'm slightly aggressive. It's okay, stay positive. Push and believe. You got it. Am I on caffeine? 5-hour energy. Marijuana. You got it. Anyway, that's my little ode to Brody. Anyway, so we're headed to Klingman's Dome, the highest point on the AT. So that's exciting, another sort of a milestone. And there's a shelter 2 miles past that. So I imagine, depending on whether or not we end up eating dinner at Klingman's, which we had discussed, we'll probably roll into camp like 5 or 6 probably. And last night was my second night in the shelter. And I gotta say, man, shelter life is nice. It's so easy. You just roll in there, put out your sleeping bag and your pad, tend to whatever little chores or errands you need to do for your setup, and then that's it. You're good to go. No tent, no nothing, obviously. And it was pretty windy, like I said, today, so sleeping in the shelter was very comfortable. Didn't feel very exposed to anything. One of the guys named Seeing Owl, who was sleeping to my right, he said that it was a mouse superhighway, but I heard and saw neither hair nor hide of any mice. So I slept really well. Did have to wake up in the middle of the night and go pee, but what can you do? I didn't want to, but it was probably easier than having to get out of my tent. I think that might be the first. Maybe I peed a couple times tonight, but I always try to avoid it. Just stay wherever I am at and pray that I can subdue the urge until morning. And so we're out here. It's still windy. We're going to take a little break at the first shelter, which is like 6 miles in. So I guess approximately a third of the day. Approximately probably be there in about 15 minutes if my calculations are correct. And then that'll basically mean that we have 4.5 hours ahead of us, for 5 maybe, I guess. 6 hours. Not 6 hours, 6 miles. 2 hours for 6 miles. 12 would be 4. 18 would be 6. And conservatively, got another 7 hours total, minus these first 2. So 5 hours after the first shelter. And we're going up again. So give you a little bit of ambience for the next few seconds. This isn't too bad. Still haven't had any internet for a while. Zach from the Trek reached out on Instagram. Thankfully I saw it, telling me that my Dropbox submissions for Backpacker Radio weren't working. I don't know what the fuck is up with that, but I'm not the only one. So I struggled to email him directly a couple clips last night, destroying my data. I only have half a gig a month, and for some reason it was like over 150 megabytes to send 3 files that didn't even add up to 20 megabytes. I don't know what's up with that. In any case, yeah, got quite a backlog of clips. I kind of dread uploading them, but I suppose the Zero is Standing Bear will be the perfect opportunity. Wash our clothes, wash our bodies, eat some goddamn good food. Man, I'm really doing myself a disservice out here so far. Not getting enough food. I'm strong enough to carry extra weight, and if I'm gonna carry any extra weight, without a doubt it should be food. So next resupply I'm going ham. Peanut butter jars galore. I'm gonna get at least 2. If I had 2 peanut butter jars right now, I'd be sitting pretty. Just eat that stuff by the spoonful. It's a good snack. I think it really does a lot to satiate. They used to say how you should eat like a spoonful at night if you're hungry. I don't know about all that, but I'll tell you, 4 or 5 spoonfuls after 5 miles of walking will get you a little further down the road. Had some good conversations last night. Stayed up a little late. That's easier to do, I think, when you are staying in the shelter, just because, I don't know, actually. I don't know why. It's more social. I guess because if you retreat to your tent, you're by yourself. The shelter naturally has more people in it. Talked to someone, I don't remember her name, it's like Joy. Bundles of Joy. She was nice. Very much like the Taoist concept of the empty vessel. which is useful because it's empty in the middle, so it can accept all things. She was very pure, smart, capable. Probably will never see her again. That is a sad thing about the pace Allie and I are keeping. Again, it's not purposefully. I smell cigarettes. Huh. Did you smell a cigarette?
No.
Okay. Definitely possible. Yeah. Yeah. My sickness seems to be going away, which is good. Slowly but surely. The unfortunate part of drinking all the water I am is that at night it kind of dooms me to peeing. I like to drink a liter after dinner because I definitely still have room for stuff in my stomach. Plus I think it helps with the digestion. Water is the universal solvent after all. So, you eat a big meal, drink a lot of water, helps to break it down and process it. So yeah, Joy was cool. Back to our pace. We're only 2 weeks in. Once we do pass the 220 mile mark, which is probably going to be tomorrow, we will have completed 10% of the trail, which is pretty fucking nuts. I mean, at the rate we're going, it's definitely a 22 to 24 week schedule to get to Katahdin, which is unbelievable. Hadn't really anticipated it, but a lot can happen between there and now. It's not even summer yet, so have to take that into consideration as well. Might change the game a bit. Yeah, but definitely going to be looking out for more experiential things as we continue down the road. Restaurants in little towns, conversations with interesting people, the little things the trail has to offer. Again, echoing Allie's accept all gifts mentality. I don't think I would have any regrets at all because everything that's happened so far has been great. But I mean, if there's one thing that we're continuously told as we roll in from shelter to shelter or town to town, people are like, they look at us, they're flabbergasted when we started. They can't believe how long or how short of a time we've been out here and how many miles we do per day, how fast we do them, etc. I think everyone's sort of justifying their own pace by saying, they're taking zeros in town so they can go do stuff. I don't know. This is not my style. I don't like doing touristy bullshit. There might be something cool to do in these towns, but I certainly don't want to go shopping unless it's for food. I mean, what we did when we got into Fontana was pretty sweet. Walked to that little village, drank a lot of beer, had some decent ass food. That was great. True relaxation. And as soon as we get into Standing Bear, we'll have the most relaxing day we've ever had. I have a few things on my shopping list for sure. I think some whiskey would be in order. Not sure about the portability of that, but it seems like a good thing to have, especially at the end of the day. Something to look forward to for the end of long days, especially. Peanut butter. I'm hungry. I'm trying to have a bite of a bar every hour. This whole process is every day, and I think to get slightly more efficient, slightly more aware of where everything is in your bag, slightly more aware of the best way to take the next step. I mean, this morning I tried out a new breakfast method where I just ate Nestle's instant breakfast powder dry, and I mixed dry coffee with it so I didn't have to dirty my pot or my spoon. And it was gross. It was hard to eat, and for sure, as Allie mentioned, it was a little bit reminiscent of the cinnamon challenge where you try to eat like a tablespoon of cinnamon Had to be careful of not coughing, because that'd be precious calories thrust into the universe, never to be regained by me. So, I enjoy that. I think I've finally figured out the best way to have my stupid fucking frog togs on my backpack so they don't move around. When we get to the shelter, I'm gonna try to rearrange my sleeping pad, because I have it up by my head right now, but that's annoying because I'm tall, and so low branches will grab it, and I don't want it to rip. And I'm running into a branch like probably conservatively, I'd say maybe once a mile. Who knows, it might have even happened during this clip, I don't remember. But I think it needs to be down by my butt, where my shoes are. So maybe switch where my shoes are with where my pad is. Like, these are the kind of considerations you think about. Trying to optimize your system and your setup, figuring out what you need, what you don't need. I need more food, I'll tell you that. And the first decent breakfast place, which decency, I'm telling you, there's a low bar for that right now. I would accept McDonald's. But the first place with some pancakes. Oh my God, I'm gonna destroy it. I want to eat 6 pancakes, eggs. What else? What else would I want to eat? Definitely eggs and pancakes. Biscuit seems like a waste of space in my stomach. Maybe toast. It's kind of like a biscuit, but flatter. What else? I'm not really too keen on meat for breakfast. I mean, I would eat sausage links if they came with a platter that I ordered. I'm certainly hash browns. That's it. That's the thing I was thinking that I couldn't recall. Yes, eggs, hash browns, and pancakes. Coffee. Man, the makings of a good fucking meal. Get stuffed to the gills. I don't know if I mentioned it, but if I can say that I have one regret so far on this trip, it's that when we left the Fontana restaurant, Allie and I got a pizza to go, and I was able to eat 2 pieces of it and give one away to a friend, Caboose, and distributed the rest of it out to people at the shelter, because I was just so full I knew if I kept eating I would be uncomfortable. I was already on the verge of uncomfortable. And I thought, why not foster some goodwill and give it to these stoned, hungry, lazy people. Not all of them were lazy, but I think all of them were stoned. The smiles on their face did make it feel like a good transaction, but I'm having, seller's remorse, shall we say? Or, I don't know, what's the word for something? What's the word for someone who gives something away freely? Philanthropist's remorse? That's a new phrase, I've never heard that one before. Philanthropist's remorse. The love of people. I have remorse over my love of people. Because, man, I would have loved to have eaten that pizza yesterday morning for breakfast. So that's a foolish mistake that shan't be repeated. Philanthropist's remorse. That's cool. I like that. I heard this morning, I was talking to this guy, Seeing Owl, the same guy who slept next to me, saying that there were mice and rats and all in the shelter. And he was talking about chemtrails a little bit. And I started to say why chemtrails were most likely not a thing. And he was like, well, the patterns are just so strange. And I was like, well, flight patterns, you can't just have random planes flying above us, and the atmospheric conditions that are required to cause that kind of a condensation trail. There's scientific reason why that could be. And he was like, oh man, come on, it's a conspiracy, just let me have it. And I was like, no, it's fine, I'm like a naysayer. Like, if you said that you like chocolate, I would be like, oh, it's not that great. And he's like, I do like chocolate. I was like, oh yeah, I really don't. It's disgusting, just to prove my point. And anyway, that story, all that just to say, I was like, naysayer. Now there's a good trail name. Naysayer. It's unfashionable to give yourself a trail name. And I think moron is still pretty fitting for me, but if I could do it all over again, I think naysayers pretty good because I like to argue, and I certainly almost just reflexively will challenge someone's thoughts just if I don't believe what they're saying, or if it runs counter to what I believe to be the case. Because I want information, I want confirmation, I want something as objective as possible. If someone's talking about something in reality, if you're talking about your own stuff, your own person, your own beliefs, I don't care really why you believe in God or why you believe in whatever you believe in. I mean, that doesn't matter. But case in point with contrails, like if you're saying that is a thing, I mean, give me a fucking reason for it. Don't just say it just because it's like cool to think about. I mean, the burden of proof lies with those who go against what's known to be true, I'd say. Gravity, the roundness of Earth, etc. I was thinking about that today as we watched the sun rise over the mountains. I was like, if the Earth is flat, then how does the sun get back to the east each day in order to rise again? Because it's arcing through the sky, and so how does it return to its position? It's not really a question I would be eager to ask a flat earther, but at the same time I do wonder, like, how do you square that circle? Because it makes sense if it's a ball, because you can imagine two balls going in concentric circles around one another. But if it's flat, there's some sort of weird interference that's going on there. I can kind of see it as a picture in my head with flat planes intersecting like perpendicularly, but at the same time it's like, well, what the fuck? This is a problem looking for, no, this is a solution looking for a problem. Like, what exactly is the point of being a flat earther? Aside from just like one more thing to make you feel like you're special. All this stupid bullshit, these people who don't even understand anything, wanting to say that they know something that no one else does. It's dumb, and without good reason for what they believe, they can go and do what they will, I suppose. Anyway, going downhill now again. I kind of have a feeling that the bottom of this hill is the shelter. It just feels right. It's 10:30 now. We started a little before 8:30, and the shelter was like 6-ish miles away. So we really should be coming right up on it. And I can't even tell you that feeling you get at the end of the day when you see that last shelter, the one you've been aiming for all day. You see the sign, you see how far away the water is and where to go to get it, where the privy is. Even just the catching a whiff of the privy, if it's the shelter you're aiming for, it's a sweet smell. Much unlike myself, man. Smelling smells that are quite foreign to me. I used to worry that my desk mate could smell my feet at MailChimp. And now I think if I were to go to work in this condition, I'd have a lot more to worry about. Seems to be my feet and my butt. Alright, let's get over this little log. Come into a little prairie thing. I might have been wrong. This may not be the shelter intersection. God, it's still so fucking windy. Let's see. Alright, this is a gap though. So I'm going to go ahead and go at this gap. Do a little calculation. What is this? Sugar Tree Gap. So for now, take all that for what it's worth. And I hope it was audible a little bit. Talk to you later. Bye.